What's happening, folks? Today we'll be doing an honest review on the channel of the Thermalworks RFX versus the Fireboard Pulse and Fireboard Spark. As a systems, I've now been using them for both over a year. This is my reviews over what has happened with me, and if this offends you, boo-hoo, it is what it is. This is my experience. Let's get into it. So we're going to talk about each kind of setup and what I like and what I don't like. So this, we'll go with the Thermalworks first. This is the RFX. This is their version of a wireless thermometer. This comes with the gateway, which is right here. This also has magnets on the back that you can stick to your hopper. You can stick to any cool part of your grill's metal. Now you also have the charging port slash actual probe, and the probes are actually, I think, they're the second thinnest in the industry. They also come with these little bands. This one is the blue, I believe. Yes, this is a blue band. They come in like 6 or 7 different colors, and it comes with every single RFX you buy. Now this kit alone, this is what I originally purchased. This kit was, right now, is $125.50 plus shipping and handling for Black Friday. So you can get this pretty cheap right here. You can buy them in 2 packs, 3 and 4, or which just come with 4 of the temperature probes. So you obviously need more. You can hook up to 50 of these onto this one gateway, but the manufacturers will only provide you 10, and then after that you have to pay their commercial fees for obviously doing a lot more than 50. So and let's jump on over to the Fireboard side of stuff. This is their thermometer. Now this works just like the Thermapen does if you pop that out. This also has a port for a leave-in wired thermometer that you can run through one of the thermometer holes in your grill. Now right now we have this set on sync mode, and what the sync mode does is it allows you to hook up to their pulse thermometer. Both of the systems look and feel good. They feel really, really good quality made. As you pick up both of them, they really do feel nice. They also look nice as well. They really look like really nice pieces. Very well built pieces. Both seem very rugged. Okay, now we're going to talk about reliability. Now, this is where the RFX just hits a turbo boost in comparison with the Spark and Pulse. I do have a little cheat sheet here. Now, we're going to start with the RFX again. I've had to replace one temperature probe on my RFX. Now that was my doing. I left it in something that was cooking hot and fast. Both of these have a maximum temperature rating of 212. I think this one might even the Fireboard Pulse, or it might be 215 degrees. I'm not sure, but it's plus or minus that degrees. If you go over that, you will destroy the wires and the computer inside of it, and they'll no longer, or the battery as well, and they'll no longer work. That's what I did. That was 100% my fault. Now, they have been very, very reliable on the RFX side. I think we've had one hiccup with it in the whole year and a half or year and a couple of months that I've had it. And what happened was my phone died. And when my phone died, the gateway for some reason would not pick up the probe again after that happened. I had to uninstall the probe and reinstall it, and then it was worked fine ever since. Getting both of these units to connect is very easy. You turn them on, you select pair device in both their apps, and they seem to pair quite nicely. Didn't really have any problems pairing both these units from the Fireboard to the Thermalworks. Okay, now we're going to talk about the reliability of the Fireboard. Now we're going to start with the Pulse. This is my second Pulse. The Tristor, or the couple right here, actually came out on my first one. I got one of the generations. I believe there was a glue issue, and this actually popped completely out. The glue failed. So this is our second one off our pulse. Now on these, this is also the second one of these. Mine just stopped working. I guess the electronics inside went kaput. So these are the second ones. Now we are currently having problems with this side. We are working, or should I say I am working with Fireboard, although it has taken a very long time. I first brought this up to them through their email system on the 28th at about 3 o'clock, and we're still waiting on very, very slow repair processes. They've not basically, they're not, I don't think they're going to replace these. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is charging. Charging probably, in my opinion, goes to the Fireboard, and the reason why it goes to the Fireboard, because I can actually, if I have multiple of versions of the Pulse, if I have 5 or 6 of these, they actually stack on top of each other. I don't unfortunately have another one of these to basically do this, but they will stack and mate end to end to where you have a pile, and you only have to use one USB on the bottom to charge all 6 of them. I don't have 6 of them, I just have one. Okay, so, but these, they obviously are their own standalone system. They just take a battery in the back. I believe it's a AAA, it might be a AA, I can't remember. That's pretty much the end of that. The gateway is a charging port via USB-C on the side. You also have the option to run an ambient probe temperature in here. You do not have to do this with the Fireboard because the Fireboard has an ambient temperature already on it right there. Okay, connectivity. The ThermalWorks connects through the RFX gateway. It has 1,500 feet per line of sight. So from wherever you leave this, it will reach the actual probe within 1,500 feet. So I could literally put this, on the side of this, put this on the front of my hopper, my pellet grills. I can put this on the stand in my egg, and it will, as long as I'm 1,500 feet away from here, will be absolutely fine. On the Fireboard side, connectivity. So if you buy a Pulse and you already have a Yoder Smokers, you have a Lone Star Grills pellet, you have one of the Yoder Smokers 1500 or YS640s or even Citrons, the big pellet ones, they will all automatically connect to the Pulse. You will not need one of these Sparks, but I don't have one of these smokers. So I had to buy the Spark in order to get the full range out of the Pulse. As far as the Fireboard side of it, they say the signal is 1,400 feet, which is 100 less feet than the ThermalWorks, and according to their website, it's 150 feet obstructed. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, obstructed. ThermalWorks did not have this on their page. Really didn't know what to make out of what qualifies as obstructed. Alright, so we're now going to talk about the apps. I'm not going to show them up on the screen. Both the apps are very similar. They both work very good. They both have graphs. They both have numbers that go up and down. They both have setting alerts that you can set to go up and down. Really, they're just their own apps. No matter what you buy, you'll learn that app. Absolutely no problem. Just watching for black bears in Florida. Now, they all charge via USB-C, so if you have very, very common, all the iPhones and Androids now have them. Now, I'm going to now talk about what I like about both on its own. Now, we're going to start with the RFX because that's what we're doing. What I really like about the RFX is their simplicity of their app is excellent. They connect very, very easy. My only gripe about the RFX system is it does not have an ambient probe on the end of the actual, I'm having a brain fart, on the end of the actual unit itself. But they also say that these ambient temperatures on the end of the probes are not very accurate. I'm not necessarily looking for it to be accurate. I'm looking to set it to where if my pellet grill or my egg goes out of temperature during the night, it will be able to wake me up. I don't care if it's off, I don't care if it's wrong. I just want it to be able to tell me if it drops down below a certain temperature, so it can wake me up and I can go attend to the problem. That's really my only gripe about the RFX system. It's been wonderful, very easy to connect, really smooth, straightforward, just as good and reliable as the Thermopens that you see in every single barbecue trailer. Now, ThermoWorks are in more competition and champion trailers than any other probe or manufacturing company on the planet that manufactures these. They've won more American Royals, they've won more Memphis and Mays, they've won more and more local competitions than any other smoker company in the planet. Now they are both national food safety regulated. They're both certified for that. That's a good plus to have if you have restaurants or you're in the barbecue industry. What I like about, so we're going to move on to Fireboard, about what I like and what I don't like. So what I really like about the Fireboard is that this will pop up in a second. As you can see, this will pop up in a second. When the temperature pops up, it stays there. So you can put this down on next to your smoker. So you can literally, as you're just walking by, you can just look at this and there's absolutely no problem. See it just like that. So you can have one for the temperature. You can put two for the this is the pulse. And that's the actual temperature probe, which is right there. I really like that. I really would have loved to have seen the RFX with a little screen here that just showed your temperature, just like you do on the Fireboard. Hopefully we get that in the Gen 2, hopefully we don't. My other gripe about this is they're very sensitive. So you could literally fart in the same room and this thing will come on and the battery will drain on it. You can't put these on your fridge because every single time somebody opens the fridge, it turns them on and they drain the battery. So when you go to use them, they actually will turn on. So by the time you go to use them, they'll actually, the battery will be gone and you'll be sitting there having to charge it. Now, they both charge relatively fast. Both of them really do charge quickly. Both of them have very good battery lives. You'll have no problem doing a big fat long cook with either one. You can adjust both of them to read at different times. That will obviously affect the battery life of both of the thermometers. So they're both, like I said, they're both USB-C. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, and this might tick some people off, but I don't really care. The RFX and ThermoWorks has been absolutely rock steady bulletproof. It has literally been just as good as this and just as good as my Classic. I've done hundreds upon hundreds of cooks with the ThermoWorks, and it just does not break. It does not have a problem. The only problem, as we stated earlier in the video, the only problem is my phone died and we lost connection to the probe and we had to uninstall the probe, but it took like not even 30 seconds to do so. And basically, it's just been rock steady. Now, moving on to the Fireboard, I am now on my second pulse and I'm now on my second spark. The reliability for me for these units is not there. When I originally had the pulse and the spark first and had to go out and buy the RFX because I no longer trust Fireboard. So what I did was I moved these up to being my number one. The ThermoWorks RFX is my number one go-to probe, and the spark and Fireboard was my number two. Now it could not handle that job. They still broke, they still lost connection. That's not really my job to fix. All I know is that I'm $300 out of pocket on these and I can't trust them. And they're out of the basically distance that we're going to be able to send me a refund on these. So if I was going to recommend these two after using them for over a solid year, I would 100% recommend you to get the ThermoWorks RFX and the Thermopen over anything else on the market. I've only used these two. We used to use I had a chef's temp that I gave away to somebody because I wasn't very impressed with it. We also had, I've had a couple other companies that have now gone out of business, but hands down the absolute winner goes to ThermoWorks. They are the industry standard. They are the best on the market. Every 99.9% of the barbecue trailers that are at the Memphis in May will either have either one in here, but it's very, very heavily stationed towards the ThermoWorks. Their work, they're great. They're you know what? They're basic, and that's what I like about them. They're not overly complicated. They're stupid reliable. Now, I bought everything that is on these. I bought every single one of these products that you see here today that we're reviewing. Like I said, the Fireboard is my backup, although I've never had to use it as my backup. I substantially trust the ThermoWorks a lot more than I do the Fireboard. Once we get to the bottom of this, it looks like we now actually are starting to get some temperature readings. That's what it looks like in the sync mode. That is the two only things that the Fireboard have over the ThermoWorks is they have an ambient temp, which is the ring up here, and they also have this little screen. That is the only two things. Every single other aspect of it goes to ThermoWorks. Reliability, price, ease of use, accuracy. I cooked a beef Wellington last year that I made Gordon Ramsay style with this, and it said that I was coming up to temperature. When I actually checked it with the ThermoWorks stuff, it was already well done all the way through, and it completely entirely ruined the experience of the meal. So that's another reason I don't trust Fireboard. This is 100% my opinion. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this guy set you up. Go out there, stay smoky. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.